Welcome back to Tales of the Dark. This time, we have 5 city horror stories. Don't watch this if you are alone, especially if you live in a building where the lights stay on, even after everyone leaves, because some places don't lock you in. They just stop letting you out. Story 1, the elevator that doesn't stop. I work late. Not by choice, just how the job is. Most nights I leave the office around 11. By then the building is almost empty. No conversations, no footsteps. Just the low hum of electricity and distant echoes from floors above. It's the kind of silence you get used to, or at least I thought I had. That night started like any other. I packed my things, shut down my computer, and walked toward the elevators. The hallway lights flickered slightly, nothing unusual. They'd been doing that all week. I pressed the button, waited. The elevator arrived almost immediately. The doors slid open, empty. I stepped inside, pressed G, ground floor. The doors closed, and for a moment, everything felt normal. Then the elevator went up. I frowned, wrong direction. It wasn't fast, just steady. Like it had somewhere else to go first. I pressed G again, nothing, no response. The button didn't light up. I tried another floor, same thing. None of the buttons worked. My chest tightened slightly. Okay, maybe a glitch. The elevator continued moving, up past my floor, past the floors above, higher than I had ever gone in this building. The numbers on the panel kept changing. Then I paused. There was no 13th floor, not in this building. They skipped it, like most places do. But the elevator didn't skip it. It stopped. The doors opened, and what I saw didn't make sense. It looked like a normal office floor, same layout, same lighting, but something felt off. The lights were dimmer, the air felt heavier, and there was no sound, no hum. No distant noise, nothing. I didn't step out. I just stood there, staring, trying to decide if this was real or some kind of malfunction. Then I noticed movement at the far end of the hallway. A person, standing still, facing sideways, not moving, not reacting, just there. My throat felt dry. Hey, I spoke without thinking. No response. The figure didn't move, didn't react, didn't even seem to breathe. Something about it felt wrong, not dangerous, just wrong. Like it wasn't supposed to be there, or maybe I was. The doors stayed open, waiting, inviting. But I didn't move. I pressed the close button. Nothing. The elevator didn't respond. It just stayed there, like it wanted me to step out. My chest tightened. No. Then the figure moved, slowly, not walking, not stepping, just shifting, turning its head toward me. The motion was too smooth, too controlled, like it wasn't human. I stepped back, instinctively, and the moment I did, the doors closed, fast, too fast. The elevator dropped, not smoothly, not normally, like something had let go. The lights flickered violently. The panel numbers started changing again, but this time they weren't in order. -1, my heart started racing. What is happening? The elevator jerked, then stopped again. The doors opened, another floor, but this one was worse. The lights were almost gone, just a faint glow from somewhere deeper inside. The hallway stretched longer than it should, too long, too empty. And this time there were more of them, figures, standing in different places, all still, all silent, all facing different directions, except one was facing me, directly, even before the doors fully opened. My chest tightened painfully, because I hadn't seen it turn. It was already looking, already aware. I slammed my hand against the buttons. Close, 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 nothing. The elevator didn't respond. The doors stayed open. And slowly one of the figures took a step forward, not rushed, not aggressive, just certain, like it knew I couldn't leave, like it had all the time in the world. The others didn't move, they just stood there, watching or maybe waiting. The figure got closer, one step at a time, and as it moved, the hallway behind it seemed to stretch, like the distance wasn't real, like it could keep walking forever and still reach me. My breathing became uneven, my hands shaking, because I realized something then. This wasn't random, this wasn't a broken elevator. This was a path, and every time it stopped, it wasn't taking me somewhere. It was showing me something, preparing something. The figure got closer. Just a few steps away now, and for the first time I saw its face, or what should have been its face. There was nothing there, just darkness, deep, endless, like looking into a space that didn't exist. My chest locked up, because something inside me understood if it reached me, I wouldn't leave this elevator, not the same way. The lights flickered again violently and suddenly everything went dark. The elevator dropped faster than before, then stopped hard. The lights came back on, stable, normal. The panel showed G. Ground floor, the doors opened, bright lobby, people, noise, everything normal. Like nothing had happened, I didn't move, not immediately, because something still felt wrong. I looked down at my hand, still shaking. Then slowly I looked up, at the reflective metal doors, and my chest dropped completely, because behind me in the reflection someone was standing, close, too close. And they weren't there when I entered. Some things don't stay where you find them. Some things don't belong to one place. And once something notices you, it doesn't need the same space to follow. Story 2, the passenger who knew my route. I didn't take the elevator again after that, not that night. I took the stairs all the way down, every floor, every step. I needed to feel something normal, something real. By the time I got outside, it was already past midnight. The city looked different at that hour. Not empty, just quieter, like everything had slowed down. The streetlights felt dimmer, the air heavier, and for a moment I stood there trying to shake the feeling, trying to convince myself that what happened upstairs was just a malfunction, just stress, just my mind, but something didn't feel right. Not around me, behind me. I turned, slowly, nothing, just the building entrance, glass doors, my reflection staring back. Alone, I exhaled, pulled out my phone, opened the ride app, requested a car. I didn't want to walk home, not that night. The car arrived in 5 minutes. Black sedan. Pulled up quietly, the driver didn't say anything, just unlocked the doors. I got in, closed it behind me. Evening, I said, no response. I frowned slightly. Home address is in the app. Still nothing. The driver just nodded, barely, and started driving. The car moved smoothly through the streets. City lights passing by, everything normal, almost calming. I leaned back slightly, letting my guard down just a little, until I noticed something, the route. It wasn't the usual way. I sat up. Hey, this isn't the fastest route. The driver didn't respond, didn't even look at me, just kept driving. Calm, focused, like he already knew. My chest tightened. I looked at my phone, opened the map. The route on the screen matched exactly where we were going. No recalculation, no delay, no warning. It had changed. Without telling me. Okay, I tried to stay calm. Maybe traffic, maybe a better route, but something felt off. The streets were getting quieter, less traffic, fewer lights, less people. The buildings looked unfamiliar, older, darker, like we had left the main part of the city. Where are we going? I asked. This time the driver spoke, calm, flat. You're already on the way. My chest tightened instantly. That's not what I asked. Silence again. The car turned into another street, narrower, almost empty, streetlights flickering slightly, the same kind of flicker. The same one from the hallway, from the elevator. My hands started to feel cold. Stopped the car, no response. Stopped the car now. The driver's head tilted slightly, not toward me, just slightly, like something was listening. Then he spoke again. You noticed. My heart dropped. What? No answer. The car kept moving, slow, steady, like it wasn't in a hurry, like it didn't need to be. I reached for the door handle, pulled it, locked, of course. I tried again. Nothing. The windows wouldn't go down either. My breathing became uneven. This isn't funny. Stop the car. The driver finally looked at me through the rearview mirror. And my chest tightened instantly, because his face wasn't right, not distorted, not broken, just incomplete, like something was missing, something important, something human. He held my gaze for a second too long. Then looked back at the road. You stayed. The words hit instantly, sharp, cold. What are you talking about? No response, but I understood. Somehow I understood. This wasn't about the ride. This wasn't about the driver. This was about before, the elevator, the floor. The thing behind me, it hadn't stayed there, it had come with me. The car slowed down, turning into a darker street, no lights, no movement, just empty buildings. And then it stopped. The engine stayed running, but the car didn't move, the driver didn't move, everything went still. I didn't speak, didn't move, because something felt wrong, worse than before, like this wasn't the destination. This was a transition, a pause. The driver spoke again, quiet, final. Look behind you. My chest locked up. Every instinct said no, don't turn, but slowly I did, just slightly. Just enough to see the back seat. empty at first, then I saw it, in the reflection of the window, not directly, but there, a shape sitting behind me, too still, too close. My breathing stopped because I hadn't seen it get in. I hadn't heard the door. It was just there, the same presence, the same feeling from the elevator, from the floor, from behind me. And now it was inside the car with me. The driver spoke one last time. "You didn't leave." The locks clicked at the same time, every door unlocked. The engine turned off, the lights went out, and in the darkness I felt something move from the back seat toward me. Some things don't follow you immediately, they wait, they learn your routine, they learn your space, and then they move in. Story 3, the apartment above mine. I don't remember getting out of the car. I don't remember walking to my building. I don't even remember unlocking my door. The next thing I knew, I was inside, standing in my apartment, lights on, everything normal, exactly how I left it. For a moment, I just stood there, trying to piece it together, trying to understand how I got back, but my head felt foggy, like parts of the night were missing, or maybe removed. I locked the door, checked the windows, everything secure, everything exactly where it should be, and slowly I started to calm down. "You're fine," that's what I told myself. You made it home, but deep down something didn't agree, something still felt off. Not outside, not in the hallway, inside. The apartment felt the same, but the silence didn't. It wasn't empty, it was layered, like something else was there. Just out of reach, just out of sight. I shook it off, dropped my keys, sat down, tried to distract myself. Anything normal, anything real, and for a while it worked, until I heard it. A sound faint above me, footsteps slow, dragging slightly back and forth. I froze. Neighbor. That was the first thought. Normal, expected, except I had lived there for almost a year. And no one lived above me, top floor, no apartment upstairs, no one ever. The footsteps continued, same pace, same pattern, back and forth, like someone walking the same path, over and over again. My chest tightened, maybe maintenance, but it didn't sound like work. It sounded like movement, like pacing, deliberate, controlled, the same kind of movement, the same kind of feeling from the elevator. From level 2B, I stood up slowly, looking at the ceiling, listening. The footsteps stopped, instantly. Like whoever it was knew I was listening. The silence returned, heavy, waiting. I exhaled slowly, trying to calm down, trying not to jump to conclusions. And then something hit the ceiling, hard, directly above me. My entire body flinched. The sound echoed through the room, too loud, too sudden. What the? Another hit, same spot, same force. My chest tightened painfully because it wasn't random. It wasn't movement, it was intentional, like something was trying to get my attention from above, where nothing should be. I stepped back slowly, eyes still on the ceiling, waiting, listening, and then a new sound, not above, not outside. Inside, behind me. I turned instantly, nothing. Living room empty, lights steady, everything normal. But my heart was racing now, because I knew what that felt like. That presence, that shift, the same one from before, the same one that followed me. I walked toward the hallway, slowly, checking each room, bathroom, empty, kitchen, nothing, bedroom, normal, everything exactly how it should be. And yet it didn't feel empty anymore. The air felt tighter, closer, like the walls weren't where they should be. I stepped back into the living room and froze. Because something had changed. The ceiling, right above where I had been standing, there was a mark, faint but visible, like something had pressed down from above, hard enough to leave an impression. My chest tightened. That wasn't there. Another sound, this time directly above that spot. A slow dragging noise, moving across the ceiling, following something, following me. I stepped back, and the sound followed, same speed, same distance, perfectly matching my movement. My breathing became uneven because I understood now. Whatever was above wasn't just moving randomly, it knew where I was. It was tracking me from the other side, and then it stopped, directly above me. Again, the silence stretched, long, heavy, unbearable, and then something impossible happened. The ceiling creaked, not from pressure, from movement, like something was shifting through it. My chest locked up, because slowly, very slowly, a shape started to form, pressing down, from above, not breaking through, not tearing, just pushing, like the ceiling wasn't solid anymore, like it was only a barrier for now. The shape became clearer, long, distorted, like a body, or something trying to resemble one. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe because I knew if it came through there would be nowhere left to go, nowhere left to run. The shape pressed lower, closer, closer, and then it stopped, just inches above, hovering, waiting. The air went completely still, and then from the ceiling right above me, a voice, soft, calm, right above my head. "You let it follow." My chest dropped instantly. No, I stepped back, and this time the shape moved with me, not delayed, not tracking, matching perfectly, like it was no longer above me, like it was already here. The lights flickered. Once, twice, and in that brief moment of darkness, I saw it, not above, not behind, right in front of me for just a second, a tall figure, unnatural, standing inside my apartment, too close, watching, and then the lights came back on, and everything was normal again. The ceiling, unchanged, flat, silent, nothing there. My apartment, empty, completely, like nothing had ever happened. But I didn't move because I knew the truth now. It wasn't above me anymore. It didn't need to be because it had already crossed over. Some places aren't safe, some places aren't dangerous. They're just not meant for you anymore. And when you stay too long, the city starts taking you somewhere else. Story 4, the last train. I didn't sleep that night, not even for a second. I stayed on the couch, lights on, TV running. Anything to keep the silence away. Because the moment everything went quiet, I felt it, that presence, not moving, not watching, just there, somewhere inside the apartment, or maybe inside me. Morning came eventually, or at least something that looked like morning. The light outside felt wrong, too pale, too still, like the city hadn't fully woken up. I grabbed my things, didn't even think about staying. I just needed to leave, needed to get out, needed to be somewhere public, somewhere normal. But even that thought didn't feel real anymore, because normal didn't feel normal, not after everything. I left the apartment, walked down the hallway. Everything looked the same. Neighbors' doors closed, lights off, no sound, too quiet. I reached the street and stopped, because the city looked different, not dramatically, just slightly off. Fewer cars, fewer people, the air heavier, like something was missing. Or something had been removed. I started walking. No destination, just moving, trying to shake the feeling, trying to reset. But the more I walked, the less familiar everything felt. Streets I knew looked unfamiliar. Turns didn't feel right. Distances felt longer, like the city was stretching, changing. The same way the mall did, the same way the apartment did. My chest tightened. No, I pulled out my phone. No signal, no connection, just empty bars, like I had stepped out of coverage, or out of something else entirely. That's when I saw it, the subway entrance. I hadn't planned to go there, didn't even remember it being on this street. But it was there, open, lights on, empty. My steps slowed. I should have turned around, should have left, but something pulled me forward. The same feeling, the same pull, from the elevator, from the floor, from everything. I walked down the stairs. The sound of my footsteps echoed, too loud, too alone. The platform was empty, completely, no announcements, no movement, no people, just a single train waiting, doors open, lights on, like it had been expecting me. My chest tightened. No, but I kept walking. Step by step toward it, the same way I had before, the same way I always did. I stepped inside. The doors closed behind me, immediately, too fast, too final. The train started moving, no announcement, no delay, just motion. The interior was empty, rows of seats, faint flickering lights. A low hum beneath everything. I sat down, slowly, trying to stay calm, trying to think, but thinking didn't help anymore, because deep down I already knew. This wasn't a normal train, this wasn't going somewhere I recognized. The windows were dark, pitch black, no tunnel walls, no passing lights. Just nothing, like we weren't moving through space. Like we were moving through something else. The train slowed, then stopped. The doors opened. Another station, but this one wasn't on any line I knew. The sign above the platform flickered, unreadable, glitching. The lights were dim, barely holding. And there were people standing on the platform, not moving, not reacting, just standing, facing different directions, except one. One was facing me directly, even before I stood up. My chest tightened because I hadn't seen it turn. It was already looking, already aware, the same as before. The same pattern, the same presence. I stayed seated, didn't move, didn't step out, because I knew if I did, I wouldn't come back. The doors stayed open, waiting, inviting. The figure took a step forward, slow, deliberate. The others didn't move, they just stood there, watching or maybe waiting. The lights flickered, and for a split second, everything changed. The platform looked familiar, not just similar. The same hallway, the same layout. Level 2B, my chest dropped completely because I understood now this wasn't a different place. This was the same place, just deeper. The figure stepped closer, closer to the train, closer to me, and in the reflection of the window I saw it again, not on the platform, not outside, inside, standing behind me, the same shape, the same presence, closer than ever. The doors slammed shut, the train moved again. Faster this time, the lights flickered violently. The sound became louder, distorted, like something was breaking or merging, and in the reflection it leaned closer, closer to my ear, closer to my face, and for the first time I heard it clearly. You're already inside. The train stopped hard. The lights went out, total darkness, and when they came back I wasn't alone anymore. Some places don't trap you, they don't chase you, they don't even try to stop you from leaving, because the truth is you never actually left. Story 5, The City That Watches. When the lights came back, I was still on the train. Same seat, same position. Everything looked normal again, empty, quiet, like nothing had happened, but something was different, not around me, inside me. The fear was gone, not fading, gone, replaced by something else, something still, something aware. The train slowed again, stopped. The doors opened. And this time I stepped out, not because I wanted to, because I knew I was supposed to. The platform was empty, no figures, no movement, no sound, just a long corridor stretching ahead. Familiar, too familiar. Because I had seen it before, not here, somewhere else. The Mall, level 2B, my apartment ceiling. Different places, same structure, same feeling, like the city wasn't made of separate locations, but layers, connected, stacked, built on top of each other. And I had moved through all of them. Step by step, without realizing it. The corridor lights flickered softly, guiding me forward. I didn't hesitate, didn't question it, because there was nothing left to question. I walked, each step echoing, each movement controlled, like I wasn't choosing anymore, like something else had already decided. At the end of the corridor there was a door, plain, unmarked, slightly open. Light coming from inside, real light, not flickering, not dim, normal. I pushed it open and stepped through, and suddenly I was back in the city. Daytime, people walking, cars moving, noise, everything normal. Exactly how it should be, like nothing had ever changed, like none of it had happened. I stood there, watching, listening, feeling, and for a moment it almost felt real again. Almost, until I noticed something. The people, they weren't reacting, not to me, not to anything, just moving. Following paths, repeating motions, like patterns, like routines, the same way I had before. My chest didn't tighten, my breathing didn't change, because now I understood. This wasn't the real city, not the way I thought it was part of it. Another layer, another level, and everyone here. They weren't just living, they were moving through it, unaware, the same way I had been until I noticed, until I saw it, the system, the pattern, the thing behind everything. A reflection caught my attention, a glass window. I stepped closer, looked at it, and for a moment, I saw myself normal still, just standing there. But then something shifted. Behind me in the reflection, a figure standing close, too close, watching, the same shape, the same presence, from the elevator, from the apartment, from the train. It hadn't left, it hadn't changed, it had just moved. With me through everything, because it wasn't tied to a place, it was tied to the system. And now so was I. The reflection flickered, and for a split second I didn't see myself anymore. I saw it, standing where I was, watching the city, watching the people, watching everything. The same way it had watched me, and in that moment everything became clear. There was no escape, no outside, no real world to return to, because the city itself was part of it. Every building, every street, every hallway, every reflection, all connected, all watching, all waiting. For someone to notice, for someone to step out of line, for someone to become aware, because that's how it continues, that's how it grows, not by trapping people, but by replacing them, one by one, layer by layer, until the entire city is nothing but watchers. And the people still living inside it don't even realize they're being observed. I looked away from the reflection, back at the street, at the people passing by, at the routines, at the patterns. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was part of them anymore. I felt separate above it, watching it the same way it watched me. And as someone walked past me just for a second, they slowed down, barely noticeable, just enough, like something felt wrong, like something didn't belong. And I knew that feeling perfectly because that's how it starts. Not with fear, not with panic, just a small realization, a small moment where something feels off. And once you notice it, it notices you. And when it does, you don't leave the city, you become part of it. You become the thing people see last. If you are new here, subscribe to Tales of the Dark, where every story gives you a nightmare.